Hello, boys and girls. Mr. Sanguinito here, and I am going to read you a story. So, the story I wanted to read to you was a book that my dad read to me when I was a little boy. It's called Caps for Sale by Esver Slobodinka. Maybe. Not sure if I read that right. However, she did a great job on this book called Caps for Sale. And now I will be reading it to you. As you can see, I have several caps on my head. Caps are just a different name for hats. So some of you might not have hats that look like this at home, but you might have other types of hats. All right, so caps for sale. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler, carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First, he had his own checkered cap, just like I have. Then a bunch of gray caps, a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top, a bunch of red caps. So there's the peddler. A peddler is somebody who goes around to different towns selling things. He sells caps. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight as to not to upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street, calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," he said. And he walked out of town, slowly, slowly, as to not to upset the caps. See, he's going for a walk. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," he thought. He sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb his caps. Then he put his hand to feel if they were straight. First his own checkered cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. They were all there, so he went to sleep. He slept for a long time. He took a nice afternoon nap. When he woke up, he felt he was refreshed and rested. Do you notice anything? But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure the caps were still in the right place. All he felt was his own checkered cap. He looked to the right of him. No caps. He looked to the left of him. No caps. He looked to the back of him. No caps. He looked behind the tree. No caps. Then he looked up into the tree. And what do you think he saw? On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was a gray, a brown, a blue, or a red cap. Look at all those monkeys wearing caps. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. You monkeys, you, shaking a finger at them. You give me back my caps. But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, "Tss." This made the peddler angrier, so he shook both hands at them and said, You monkeys, you! You give me back my caps! But the monkeys only shook their hands back at him and said, "Tss, tss." Now he felt quite angry. He stamped his foot and he said, You monkeys, you! You better give me back my caps. But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." By this time, the peddler was very, very angry. He stamped both his feet and shouted, You monkeys, you! You must give me back my caps. But the monkeys only stomped their feet back at him and said, "Tss, tss." At last, he became so angry, he pulled off his own cap, threw it on the ground, and began to walk away. What do you think the monkeys did after the peddler took off his cap and threw it on the ground? But then each monkey pulled off its cap. And all the gray caps, and all the brown caps, and all the blue caps, and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First, his own checkered cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. And slowly, slowly, he walked back to town calling, Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap. And that is the story, Caps for Sale, a tale of a peddler, some monkeys, and their monkey business. And again, that was a story that my dad read to me when I was a little boy around your age. So I hope you like Caps for Sale. I hope that if you see this book in the library, you can take it and you can bring it home and read it one day, or you could look for it online. Boys and girls, thank you very, very much for letting me read to you. Have a great day.